Call to order, committee of the whole. Motion to accept this, or not yet? Got it. All right, so today we have 14 resolutions and 2 consents. I'll start with this. Kelly, for 6 streets, do you want to talk about this, or this is just information for us?
Do you want to do the resolutions first to make sure we get to them?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do the agenda item D, and then we can go back to that. Would be great. I would appreciate that.
Okay, resolution 2526-134. Resolution adopting the minutes from the last common council meeting. Any questions? Resolution 2526-135. Resolution waiving 30-day advance notice application for liquor license LLVS Bridge and Tap.
This is the building across the street from Army Grill, the bar that's gonna open up. Tommy Tambasco asked me to put this on. This is usual what we do when people are gonna open up a tavern, and we waive the 30-day rule, which means we have 30 days to look at the facility, whether we have any problems with it opening up. By passing this resolution, what we're doing is we're waiving these people 30 days so they can apply for a license. Okay? We have done this in the past we just did it for the Elks Club. No, the people that bought the Elks Club down on West Main Street. Okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Resolution 25-26-136. Resolution authorizing the purchase of a laptop computer, APD. Chief?
Yes, this request is to use state seizure funds for the purchase of this computer. Its specific use is going to be in the detective division for when we execute a search warrant and break down someone's cell phone. It's a very robust program with a lot of data and a lot of storage. So this will be a single-use computer for those types of situations.
Okay. And the CM 3120.2000, what is the title of that code? You know?
I know it's our state seizure funds.
Okay.
Formal name, like special revenue.
Yeah, special revenue.
It says here the cost of the computer, $3,200 is coming out of seizure money.
Yeah, it's not part of our operating budget, it's its own separate fund.
Right.
Chief, once you get the laptop, we can volunteer using my daughter's phone.
There you go.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, resolution 25-26-137. Resolution appointing member to the zoning board of appeals, Erica Ramirez. And Chris is going to move this.
Erica was actually my replacement on the zoning board when I was elected to the common council. She's got her stuff together. She's very intelligent, and it's a good pick for the zoning board.
Yeah.
She's done a really good job from what everybody tells me.
Yeah, I know Erica also. She's very
Not afraid to
Very
say
smart
what she
and-
thinks, which is good.
Yep.
Any questions?
Resolution 25-26-138. Resolution reappointing member of the City of Amsterdam Planning Commission, Diane Staver.
Yeah, all the people that we are being reappointed have done a good job. They, as I've said before, they give up a lot of time. They put up with a lot of stress at times, and they're doing a great job. We're thrilled that these people who are being before you tonight, who are being reappointed, have agreed to do so because they do a good job. They show up. They work hard at what they do, and Diane is certainly one of those people.
Okay. Resolution 25-26-139. Resolution authorizing contract extension with Del Signor Blacktop Paving, Inc. for the 2026 street paving. Alderman Marticello.
This company right now is doing our road program. They just finished it, and we had a good price because they're the low bidder. So our engineer, Mike Clark, went and approached them and gave them the specs for the new road program and asked them to give us a price. And I'll let you talk from there, Mike.
Yeah, so we bid these contracts every year on a unit price basis, which means it's not by the street necessarily. It's by the quantity of work, whether it's asphalt or gravel or catch basin grades or feet of striping or all the items that go into road work. It's based on a quantity of that work. Within our agreements every year, write in the possibility of the potential for 2 1-year extensions, up to 2 1-year extensions on the contract, meaning that they would hold the unit prices from the previous year and then agree to transfer that to the street program that we then produce for the following year, for the first year of the extension, the second year of the extension. DOT makes it easier for us to do that by a couple of items that we include in the contract. They're called price adjustments. There's 2 price adjustments I write into every one of these contracts. One is a fuel price adjustment. If diesel goes up or down, the state produces an index every month that shows what it is on any given year, and you compare that to based on when the contract was awarded, and it's either up or down, and you can adjust, and it will adjust and take into account increases in costs that way. The other item is the asphalt price index. So again, asphalt being directly related to oil and oil prices. If asphalt price goes up, the index would move up, and we're able to adjust that price based on the state index. And if it goes down, you can adjust it downward. Unfortunately, I haven't seen it go down in quite a few years. But we do. So where we go from here is if we agree to extend the contract, we then produce our list of streets. We have I've received them from a lot of folks, a lot of council members already. We estimate that job, and then they do the work. Again, they're not paid on a lump sum, like X number of dollars per street. They're paid on the quantities that it takes, quantities of asphalt, quantities of gravel, guardrailing, striping, concrete, sidewalks, all of that it takes to do any given street. The trick in all of this is in selecting the streets and thereby estimating that work before we set up the program, and that's where our engineer's office comes into play, is that we estimate those jobs. We're usually within a few percent on the quantities. There's always some unforeseen things, but we try to keep a little bit of cushion in the streets. But the bottom line is that's how we do it. That's how we use a unit price job to do these works. So really, on any given year, yes, like if you look at last year's, we awarded it based on a base bid. The base bid was the lower part of Market Street from Prospect up to Van Dyke. That based on the quantities that we estimated, because our opinion was we don't know what we're going to get into when they mill. We estimated heavy on a few of the asphalt items and some of the sub-base items, expecting that we may have to rebuild more of the road. What happened was, if you recall, the base bid last year was $1.35 million for that job, based on the quantities of asphalt and all the other construction items that we gave them. We were lucky that much of the subpavement, the subgrade of that road, was in better condition than we anticipated, and the total project came in at just just under $900,000. So so they were paid the actual cost of those quantities, not the base bid, because it's not a unit, it's not a lump sum bid on any of these projects. I don't know if that was too long-winded, but.
Makes sense.
Mike, can I just ask
Yeah.
a question about timing this year? Because we're doing this as early as we are, can we get him in our city quicker than we have been here?
Well, that's what Mayor, that's one of the big benefits of doing this,
Right.
is that I would like to give them a notice to proceed and get them going. I'd like to get them going in the spring.
Okay.
You
So
know,
do I mean,
when the weather
we're
breaks.
always waiting until,
We are, because there's that,
Yep.
to go from bidding to
Yep.
mobilization on a construction project, there's a few months, right?
No, I understand. It's good news that we can, get them in here earlier, by doing it this way. I think that would be a benefit to the city to have them in here early. We did talk about the possibility of, using CHIPS money to help us demolish the DMV garage, so we need to bring that forward as well.
Yes, we do.
And we did find out, right, the demolition is gonna be a little less than we expected it to be. We think,
We think, the best estimate I have on demoing the original DPW garage is about 800,000.
we were thinking it would be about $1 million, so it's, if we have 2.7 to work with, which we do, if it's 800,000, then we'd have 1.9 million to work with in the streets, if we decide to use 800,000 to demolish the DMV building. We're gonna bring that forward, but we'll sit down and get that all figured out.
Yep.
So that'll be part of their decision-making process, correct?
We're gonna have to factor all that into it, and of course, there's a lot of moving parts here, so timing is everything. On not just our paving program, but also,
Well, what I'm looking at is if we start the streets early, we can knock the building down at the end if the timing works out, because we're not ready to, you know what I'm saying?
we're not at that point yet.
Right, so we'll have that money set aside, but, if something happens to the project, we can apply it to streets if we had to, you know what I'm saying? All right, thank you.
Resolution 25-26-140. Resolution to award contract for improvements to the Broadway sanitary sewer.
Okay, this resolution has to do with the new business in the town of Florida Industrial Park. If you're not aware, we have many problems up on Broadway Hill because of the sewer line. And this company coming in is going to create even more sewer. So there's been money set aside, and Mike's gonna explain it to you after I tell you, that Perine Construction got the low bid to do this work. And this work will allow us to handle more flow, which will definitely solve a lot of problems. Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you. Again, the new Amazon facility coming in, I think everybody knows that. Developer has, when they talked, they said they gave us their estimated daily usage on water and sewer. I said, that's great. Well, we've got this restriction here, where we're at or above capacity right now on about 350 feet of sewer. They said, fine, we'll replace it under their, and as a betterment to the city. So what they did was they escrowed the amount for the engineering design originally. We've gone to bid, we've done all that work. Now they have the low bid before them, and plus the construction inspection. So this resolution allows us to award that work, which is $250,000 and change, and about another 20,000 in inspection on top of it. They're going to escrow that amount. So I'm asking that we award the contract contingent upon the receipt of the construction money for escrow. So that, and the reason, if you back up a second, the reason this project is flowing through the city is because it's our infrastructure. We're the only proper entity to actually administer the work. So it's a little bit of work on our part, but the folks are paying the freight, and it's cost to us other than time in our office.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Resolution 25-26-141, resolution 25-26 budget transfer, debt payment. Alderman Collins. Louise, would you like to speak on this?
Yes, it's just been an established practice in the past. If we earn, additional interest earnings from our, investment account, we, just are applying a little more than what we planned for, to these, to a couple of the projects that we borrowed for. We're getting ready to renew the debt. We budgeted for a certain amount that we were gonna pay down, and we're just, because we have some additional earnings, we're just gonna apply that toward the principal and, reduce the amount we have to renew.
Any questions? Thank you. Resolution 25-26-142, resolution reappointing member of the zoning board of appeals. This one is for David Niles Nelson.
Yeah, again, as I said earlier, David has been on the panel for a few years now. He does a great job, as does Lorraine Del Costello, who's coming up next. And the fact that they agreed to reappoint to the reappointment is a great thing. It's a good thing for our city, and both are well qualified and do a good job. We thank them for their service.
Resolution 25-26-143, resolution reappointing alternate member to the zoning board of appeals. Kelly, would you like this one?
Oh, sure. Mrs. Del Castillo.
Any questions? Resolution 25-26-144, resolution authorizing contract with Phillips Ludlow, LLP.
Lido,
Say it again.
Lido.
Lido. For prosecution.
This resolution is a law firm that we use to do all the REM procedure for the foreclosures of all the houses in auction. They did all the legwork. And we hired them last year, and they were very successful, and they were very exact. So we're gonna hire them again. It's a lot of work that they have to do, and it's work that Mr. Casale and Byron don't have to do. And this company was very successful in getting all the paperwork and all the deeds and everything ready, and the foreclosures ready for auction.
Thank you. Resolution 25-26-145, resolution authorizing contract with Civic Plus for foil management.
Yep, this was the discussion that we've been having over the last few days plus about the foil management system. I really want to thank everybody sitting up here for answering all the questions I had. This is a very arduous process, and compliance is very important. And as I understand, just one small mistake could kind of derail the entire process. So this is something that is not a want, but a need. So I'll give the floor to anyone who wants to speak on it, but as far as I understand, it's something needed.
Okay, so we just need to add the code, the expense code on this legislation, on this resolution.
Are you asking where the money's coming from?
Yeah. Well, I have the code, we just need to add it to the resolution.
Very good.
There won't be any expense though this current year. I just want to make sure that's clear to everybody.
It'll come out of the clerk's budget?
Yes. Yeah.
The code will be,
We'll budget for it as we work through the next budget process.
so to add the code to this resolution, do I have to amend this resolution? Or we need to-
Yeah, I think that you can just add it as part of the whereas part, just add a whereas clause, referencing where the funding will ultimately come from. That should suffice.
Okay, so we don't have to.
What do you
want the exact wording to be, so that we can have it in there. Usually we just have the code listed on the bottom, so I'll just say where's the expense to be charged to AO 1410 dash point 4,000.
I would recommend you just add that as a motion, to add that as a whereas paragraph. Yeah. Amend the resolution to add a whereas paragraph indicating that the payment for it will come from that account. Recite that account, and that'll be the motion.
Okay, resolution 25-26-146, resolution 2025-26, the budget transfer for multiple accounts. Jimmy.
Okay, this is the budget transfer to add money into the certain line items that were used by us that were not, they're overestimated, right?
Right, we didn't budget enough in these lines, right? Now that we're 7 months into the year, we're starting to see, things that, we're not, adequately budget for, perhaps, or surprises, unexpected expenses that we weren't anticipating. We're starting to see a little more of that now, so this is just an attempt to move funding around to cover the additional costs.
Like under the expense, the city clerk's is contractual. The vegetation was for the Bernadette, Tweedy, and the election expenses because of the primary tax assessment that came under the water fund. So each one of these, all these line items are short, so we're just gonna balance them out and put more money in.
Thank you. Okay. Resolution 25-26-147, resolution approving the audit. The audit is fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, consents. This consent is 25-26-148, resolution appointing member to the planning commission. Ashley Carey.
She's new.
Ashley is a very good pick for this board. She's used to being on board. She serves with the Rotary. She serves with the Friends of the North Tanoka. I always have a hard time pronouncing that. She's done a lot of volunteerism within the community over the last years, and I think that she'd be an asset for this department. That was a great pick.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, resolution 25-26-149, resolution correcting resolution 25-26-105 as it relates to the purchase of 18 Mayor Street.
When resolution 105 was presented to the council a couple of meetings back, it stated that we sold Bayard Street for $31,000, but the correct number, so we have a correct figure for the auditors, is $31,100. And the corporation council, he found it, he picked that out, and therefore we're just gonna have to amend it to read $31,100.
Someone else found it. I think it was Ms. Walton that found it, but
Oh,
she brought it to my attention and what this is.
okay. There you go. Okay.
All right.
Good job, Irene.
Thank you.
There's a lot of resolutions.
Time to talk about this, guys.
Well, if we don't have time to talk about it now, we'll set aside time in the council, but we might as well start, right?
Yeah, we can start in the 5 minutes. So, something I've been mulling on for a little while is coming up with a group of different experts on streets and safe streets. I've kind of called it the Safe Streets Working Group, but as council members, we hear from the community about speed, parking, signage, pedestrian safety, tires getting popped at intersections, and we often reach out to public safety and engineering in a vacuum and say, like, while they're dealing with that issue as it comes up, and a lot of times they're dealing with other issues as well, and maybe we put a temporary fix on it, like, let's say, we were just talking about Forbes Street, like, okay, we'll temporarily put something there that marks it, but then what do we do in the future? And everybody, our department heads have a lot on their plate, and they have to wait for the state to get back to them on things and all sorts of things. Sometimes things get forgotten, or other people could contribute to it but don't know about that problem. So the idea would be that we would bring together public safety, engineering, DPW, the school district if necessary, the common council, community members to talk about these various issues that we have throughout the city and that we've had. Some of them we've had for years. You know, people have always said everyone drives too fast on Guy Park Avenue. Everyone blows this stop sign at this intersection. And is there a way that we can help improve that by working together? I'm also thinking about a time where Mr. Halliday was talking with Zach Baxter about Vanderveer, right? Is that where Battisti's Pizza is?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
And
and the intersection.
that crazy intersection. And Zach Baxter, who's in the engineering department, is like, oh, we can do all sorts of things with paint. And we could paint lines and we could do this, we can do that. I said, well, that sounds really good. But then the meeting started and then life happened. And I don't know if we've ever revisited it. And then talking with Chief Spencer, he's like, well, yeah, we can do all sorts of things with paint. But then the state has these rules. And then they have this guideline. And can we do this? And can we do that? And so we don't always have that dedicated time to discuss all of it together. So I thought we could come up with a group where we could create, you know, a list of the problems and then a list of various solutions and see if we can connect those together throughout the year. Certainly not fix every problem in the first meeting, but just have a place where we could air out these and discuss it. So I talked to the chief about it a little bit. He was on board. We would probably, again, first want to gauge interest of who would be interested in doing it, and you know, start having some monthly meetings to start, and then maybe just quarterly after we get things going and we figure out what it would actually look like.
Thank you, Kelly.
Feedback on that, or
I think it's a great way to proactively address problems that we've always talked about. You know, and it certainly keeps us on top of them. So they don't just get moved on until the next resolution is important.
to the next crisis? Yeah.
Well, I think it'd help the chief too, instead of getting 5 phone calls.
Right. Or yeah.
You can send us the list and we can mull it over and see. I call you all the time, so.
We all do. Right? We call the chief. We call Mike Clark and then say, what can we do about lion and locust? You know, and we go back and forth. And yeah, if we could, if he had a dedicated time to like sit and think about it without the other 1,000 things you have to think about, you know, or give us jobs, like give us something to research on it if that is the case. So, I guess more through email on that or at the next meeting. But if you have any, want to be part of it or anything.
I was thinking maybe each alderman could pick an issue in their ward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you talk locust and lion. You know, and just create that as an agenda. Your most pressing.
Yeah. And if we had them in the chambers in a meeting like this, I mean, pretty much we're all on every committee. It wouldn't have to be just 2 people assigned to it. We could have an open meeting where we all come. We don't have to worry about quorum. Yeah, that's a good place to start each.
Okay. Any questions on that? All right, let me stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alderwoman Quist-Morris. Here. Alderman Holliday. Did you say?
Here.
Okay.
Stepped
Alderwoman
on.
Collins.
Here.
Alderman Carpenter. Alderman Marticello.
Here.
Motion to adopt the agenda.
Motion to adopt the agenda. With 2 consents. 14 resolutions and 2 consents.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter. Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist-Morris.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
I have no proclamations this evening. Communications and presentations. Okay, then we'll go into the public participation portion of our meeting. If you're here to say something to the council, please come to the podium, give us your name and address. You have 5 minutes to speak.
We have a presentation. You're gonna.
I'm sorry. How come it's not on my agenda? I apologize.
I'm sorry, because it was brought to me after.
Okay.
So I sent out the
No
email.
problem. I'm sorry. Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you,
Good,
Mayor?
good. BCNI.
Yes. So thank you. Dan was looking see it, my presentation was gonna be on the screen, but since it's not, I guess I'm gonna, pardon me, I'm gonna have
We all have a hand up.
my phone going too at the same time. My name's Steve Strikeman, I'm with Better Community Neighborhood Inc. I actually worked for the city of Schenectady for a long time, created the land bank as well. But right now I'm working on a program with Better Community Neighborhoods Inc. And I figured I'd introduce you to BCNI, which is I can't even get my, I would love that. That would be so much easier. Thank you. Okay. So basically, our mission is to build and support resilient neighborhoods where residents of all backgrounds can flourish. And to do that, we provide housing resources to low and moderate income households. In the city, well, actually in Schenectady County and in Montgomery County, mostly in the city of Schenectady, and now we're doing a lot of stuff in the city of Amsterdam as well. We promote home ownership opportunities. We help struggling homeowners who are undergoing foreclosure to help them solve their problems there. And we provide renovation and rehabilitation work. And we're also developing a growing portfolio of rental properties as well. So we started in Amsterdam a few years back. We were asked by actually the Montgomery County Department of Health to come here to help with leading lead prevention pilot program. So that's where we got our start. Since then, we've got another round of leading in lead program, which helps remediate apartments where children are and get the lead out of these properties. Since then, we started a program called the Accessory Dwelling Unit Program, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, which is the main reason I'm here. And we also have a new program coming soon, which is a vacant rental property program, which provides grant funding to owners of apartment buildings that have vacant units. So it's anywhere from $60,000 to $120,000 that they can get to help renovate these apartments and bring them back up to code and start renting them out. So the ADUs, we're going to be running off this time. Thanks. So accessory dwelling units, a few years back, Amsterdam passed a law allowing for accessory dwelling units, which are basically in-law apartments, as many other communities are doing across the state. And Amsterdam's is fairly restricted. It can only be for a parent or a child or a caregiver. And there's some question about, what happens if you create this unit and then it stops being used for this purpose? What happens to it? Do you incorporate it back into the house? Or does it just have to stop being used in that way? It's a state-funded program, and we have up to $125,000 per unit. And let's see. So it helps create safe, legal, and accessible housing. And right now I'm working with five families that are either creating units in the house for a child or a parent, or adding on to that house to do the same thing as well. So it's even in single family neighborhoods, it's not really a problem because you have control. It has to be a homeowner who lives there. So it can't be just an apartment owner doing this. So it's not really creating additional units that you don't, that you may not, have trouble controlling. It can pay for permits, designs, and planning costs, construction work, and it can even do modular or tiny homes, and permanent fixtures and necessary appliances. It can't be used to tear down houses. You've got the land bank for that to tear down the houses. It can't be used for landscaping or routine maintenance. If you're not current on your taxes, it can't pay for the taxes. And anything that gets paid for has to be approved prior to. So again, we just launched this program a few months back. I have my first planning commission meeting on Market Street next week. So we're just starting to get rolling on it. We can fund about 15 of these, and right now we have about five in process. So there's room for more. And I think I skipped the slide here. So we talked about who's eligible. Did I miss that one? Okay, so who qualifies? I think I already covered that. Homeowners living in their own house. And they have to be in an approved zoning area, which is basically your, and medical
Oh, medical residential.
medical residential. But it's most of the city, and you see the picture in your presentation, it's the yellow areas, the orange areas, and the red areas. And even if they're in one of the other areas, there's a possibility they can get a variance before the zoning board to be able to do this. And
So if a family had an adult disabled person living with them, and they wanted to put a tiny home on their property to help them with independent living, would that be something that this would work for?
it could be if it's attached, or if it's in a garage or in a carriage house. Right now, the way Amsterdam zoning is, it prohibits another structure unless it's an accessory structure. It's something you might want to consider looking at revamping, because that's, I think, how a lot of these happen, is just standalone units. But this would be perfect for them if they lived in the same house and it's attached, or you prefer a garage or a carriage house. And actually, is what I have right now that I'm working with, just so you know, I have a family with a daughter who's living there, and they're going to create an apartment for her in the basement. She's going to help as the parents, one of the parents is having troubles with vision, so she'll be there to help her. And then I have a couple who's going to, a woman who's financially, she qualifies for the program, and she's aging too, and so they're going to move into the house with her. And then, I mean, that's mostly what I have, is people trying to take care of their parents, and in some cases to try to, provide additional housing for children. So you have children in your house, and they're 200 foot, you can create an accessory unit to basically, have them have a little bit more of their own freedom. And these are the important things you're probably most concerned. You can't be used, it must be used for year-round housing. So you can't use it for an Airbnb or vacation rentals. I mean, a lot of it's obvious because it's not a parent or a child. You must follow building regulations, and then it needs to be in compliance, at least with our funding, for 10 years. So for 10 years, we go back and monitor and make sure that it's in compliance. Let's see. So that's the accessory dwelling unit, but I should mention we have a few other programs as well. We have, as I talked about before, we have a lead abatement program, and I also mentioned the vacant rental property project as well. So I have some cards here. I have packets for all of you if you want more information on these, so you can have them with the brochures specific to each one.
Sure.
My cards in the package as well. So again, I just kind of wanted to make you aware of what we're doing here. BCNI is doing more and more in Amsterdam and in Montgomery County. And it's a pleasure to be here doing this. And I don't know if anybody has any, I don't know how your meetings work, but if you have any questions, I'm available for questions.
Thank you.
Helen?
Hi, Steve. Welcome back to Amsterdam.
Thank you so much, Fred.
I will. So you said in here that Amsterdam's ADU is fairly restrictive. How would you compare it with Schenectady's or others? Like, when you say fairly restrictive, do you mean that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Well,
Your personal opinion, professional opinion.
since you've just adopted this, I think you're less restrictive than Schenectady. I mean, Schenectady says if it stops being used, you got to pull it out totally, close it down. Yours kind of is a little vague on that.
Okay.
Places like some of our suburbs are restricted to family members. So people create accessory dwelling units, and as long as they're an owner occupant in the house, they can rent to whoever they want. I know, I can understand. I mean, you have a lot of issues with housing in Amsterdam, so I can understand why you wouldn't want to create a lot more units right now, but there's a housing crisis across the state. And so this is how Homes and Community Renewal is trying to address that.
Okay. And how, like, with size, with things like that?
They're limited to, per your zoning ordinance, 800 square feet or 40% of the total living area. So every one I'm working on right now is.
And is that consistent with other?
That's, I think, pretty similar. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, so my cards are here.
Steve had a table at Winterfest with us this weekend, and it was, thank you for being there.
Oh, you're welcome. And we had a lot of interest in your program as well, your lead pipe replacement program. So it was kind of a good day to join up.
Dan did a good job.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? So now it's time for public presentation, correct? Does anyone Mary's here. Hi, Ashley.
Hi. Sorry, I hope I
Thank
didn't
you for
hear.
putting your name forward. We really appreciate that.
I'm really, really excited about the planning committee. It's really great in my head.
We're really excited about having you.
Thank you.
Very, very happy that you said yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're at the clerk's report. Please.
So for the month of January, we had a little bit of an increase in what we do. The birth certificates, we were up 3 from 2025 with 125 of those we printed. Death certificates, we printed 152 death certificates, which was an increase of 47 from 2025. Dog licenses, we had 34, which was still good. We had 7 more than 2025. And marriage certificates, 29, which was 4 more than 2025. There were 30 new births this year, which was down 9 from 2025. 22 new deaths, which was down 3 from last year. 10 new dog licenses out of those 34, 10 of those were new, which was 1 less than last year. And 3 couples came in to have marriage licenses issued to them, which was 2 less than last year. We processed 57 FOILs. Those 11 of those were accident requests, 20 of those were police incident requests, 8 were miscellaneous things that people were looking for, and 18 of those were property inquiries. I had 19 notary requests, and I added something new. This year, I'm gonna present to you how many handicap placards we issue, because we do a lot of those in our office. So this, in the month of January, we issued a total of 34. 29 of those were permanent placards, which are the blue ones, and 5 of those were temporary, which are the red placards that you see hanging in people's cars. Any questions?
Very good. Thank you.
All right, then we're on to the control report, Louise.
The report I prepared, it's a budget summary that reflects 7 months of operations. These numbers are particularly significant right now because we have just started to work on our next year's budget. Mayor and I have been in conversation with all the department heads. We'll be meeting with them soon. So we'll be watching these numbers closely. And I also want to mention that our audit has been moving along at a nice brisk pace. I'm cautiously optimistic our final financial statements will be issued a little earlier this year than they have been, and then they will invite our new audit firm, Bonadio, to come and present when those statements are ready.
As Louise just stated, we have been working on the budget steady state. One of the things that we finished today was a complete review of the 6-month year-to-date performance versus expenses and revenues. A few things that we'll be talking about in the next few weeks, but nothing earth-shattering, going well. Everything is going pretty smoothly. We've given the department heads until the 26th of February to submit their budgets, their first drafts of their budgets. They're also going to be doing the same thing we did, going through their accounts, looking at each line item to see, if there's any surprises for them, because if they're surprised, believe me, that's not good. So we're going to make sure that they've got reasons for any sort of differentiation. But by the 26th of February, we should be in really good shape, and I'm expecting to have my budget to you on time this year.
Louise, I have a question.
Yes.
This is the first time I've seen this in a long time, that we have 3 funds that are actually in the revenue line item.
I'm so sorry.
There's 3 funds here.
Yeah.
Water is in the positive revenue, sewers revenue, and golf is in the revenue. They're the plus. With all this being said here, is there a good indication that the revenue will exceed the expenditures in these 3 line items, like the golf fund?
Well, the golf fund, typically revenues do exceed, or expenditures have been tending to exceed revenue, and then they'll do a transfer from the general fund. We're estimating it to be about 300,000. That's what that amount.
Right now, it's 64,000
Yeah.
ahead of schedule.
Right, but it's really, really hard to go by these numbers with the golf fund because the season is split up over 2 budget cycles. So I would just caution you not to rely on that too.
Okay, and one other thing, if I can ask you this.
Sure.
There's no one here that says how much money is in our fund balance at the present state right now. I know it is because the mayor told me what it is. Thank you.
Well, it hasn't been verified yet, but yes.
But there's nothing here that says it.
Right, because it's a very fluid number, except for once a year when we get it audited. And that's when our financial statements are issued, our audited financial statements are issued, which will hopefully be within the, few weeks. I will definitely make those numbers available to you, but they're really only accurate once a year. And they're audited once a year.
See, you did a good job here, because you're telling me right now, these three funds, water fund, sewer fund, and golf fund are ahead of schedule. And like you say, maybe the golf fund is split, but the water fund and the sewer fund are not split. You see, so that is good news right there. And even if it was just a once in a lifetime, that you tell me once a year what our general fund is, it's a far cry from saying that, we're going on the wrong direction. Okay?
These reports just reflect the actual operations of the current year, and the final result will either add to or subtract from our fund balance numbers. I want to also, caution you that a lot of our expenses are a lot of, I should say, our budget lines. You'll see in departments will encumber like the full amount that's in that line beginning of the year, and it'll actually distort the numbers a little bit. Like sanitation, the biggest expense in the sanitation fund is the tipping fees, and it's just been the practice to just encumber that. I think we budget $800,000 or $900,000. We encumber that, on a purchase order all at once at the beginning of the fiscal year, so it looks like we've spent $800,000. If you just look at this expenditure total, but it's really that, it also includes funds that are encumbered but not actually spent yet. So, this is
That's what we did today, Jimmy. We went through each one of these numbers and said, okay, how come this isn't a negative, or are we, and we explained that, no, it's been encumbered, or we have not received this payment yet, and it really balances things out. But in general, I think we're in really good shape in terms of each one of these funds.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else for the controller? All right, then Mike, engineering report.
Thank you, Mayor. I've already hit on most of these items here. We talked about Broadway sewer improvements, talked about the paving program for 2026. I did want to talk about briefly our demolition project that is currently underway, the CDBG funded project. We are, if you look at the tables there, I think we're working on a test structure out of 23. Currently, Gore Construction is on the end of Larkin Swan. The brick building, it will be good to get that down, and including all of the old metal sheeting that was used as fencing, and get the site cleaned up. I think having that structure gone is going to reduce some of the unauthorized dumping that occasionally goes on there. It's not going to be able to hide it. It's not.
This is which one, Mike?
The 41 to 45 Mark Street,
Okay,
at the very end, almost at the tracks. It'll be good to have that out of there, and all the old sheet metal fencing. It was just an eyesore, and it kind of covered up the mess. But they're making good progress. And I expect that they'll continue, obviously, for the rest of this month as well as March. And we should be about ready to wrap that project up right around the beginning of April. So their progress is good.
You were going to ask for a couple quotes on additional work.
Yes, we have. We've asked for that. We can do it under the work of this contract, funded separately. But since we got them on the contract, waiting for those numbers to come back. They promised me they'd look at them and get numbers back this week.
Okay, good.
That's what I have for this evening.
Anyone else have questions for the engineer? Okay. Thank you, Mike. Old business. We are on to resolutions.
Resolution number 2526-134, resolution adopting minutes from last common council meeting by Alderwoman Collins.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-135, resolution waiving 30-day advance notice application for liquor license LLVS Bridge and Tap by Alderman Marticello.
So moved. Anyone have any discussion? Thank you. Call the roll.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter. Resolution number 2526-136, resolution authorizing purchase of laptop computer APD by Alderwoman Collins. Whereas the City of Amsterdam Police Department needs to upgrade a Detective Bureau laptop computer. This computer is dedicated to the purpose of cellular phone analysis. In order to conduct such analysis, a more robust and capable computer is required. The cost of the computer meeting the required specifications is $3,259.
Okay, go to the resolve.
Resolved, the controller is authorized to fund this purchase in the amount of $3,259 to be paid out of CM.3120.2000.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter. Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-137, resolution reappointing member to the Zoning Board of Appeals by Alderman Carpenter. Whereas a member of the City of Amsterdam Zoning Board of Appeals term has expired, therefore be it resolved, the following individual is hereby reappointed to the Zoning Board effective immediately with a term expiring December 31st, 2028. Erica Ramirez, 48 Pulaski Street, Amsterdam, New York, 12010.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-138, resolution reappointing member to the City of Amsterdam Planning Commission by Alderwoman Collins. Whereas a member of the City of Amsterdam Planning Commission's term has expired, therefore be it resolved, the following individual is hereby reappointed to the Planning Commission effective immediately with a term expiring May 31st, 2030. Diane Staver, 5 Laura Street, Amsterdam, New York, 12010.
So moved. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-139, resolution authorizing contract extension with Del Signor Blacktop Paving, Inc. for 2026 street paving by Alderman Marticello.
So moved. Just read the last whereas clause and therefore clause, please.
Whereas the contractor's performance of work for the 2025 street paving contract was excellent. Now therefore be it resolved that per the terms of the 2025 street paving contract, a 1-year contract extension is granted.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter. Resolution number 2526-140, resolution to award contract for improvements to the Broadway sanitary sewer by Alderman Marticello.
So moved. Just read the now therefore clause, please.
Now therefore be it resolved that the city award a construction contract to Perrine Contracting, Inc. of Amsterdam, New York in the amount of $250,970 for the work of this project, with the award being contingent upon the receipt of additional money from the developer for the actual cost of construction plus construction administration services. And therefore be it resolved that the mayor is authorized to execute said contract with Perrine Contracting, Inc.
So moved. Discussion. Call the roll.
Alderman Marticello. Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter. Resolution number 2526-141, resolution 2025-2026 budget transfer debt payment by Alderwoman Collins.
Okay, so you can read the second whereas and then the now there, the resolve.
Whereas the city exceeded its revenue projection for interest earnings so far this year in the amount of $30,900. Now therefore be it resolved that the controller is authorized to amend the 2025-26 fiscal year budget as follows. Increase expense, band principal sanitation, $6,900. Band principal general fund, $24,000. Increase revenue, interest and earnings sanitation, $6,900. Interest and earnings general, $24,000.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter. Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars. Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-142, resolution reappointing member to the zoning board of appeals by Alderwoman Collins. Whereas a member of the city of Amsterdam zoning board of appeals term has expired, therefore be it resolved, the following individual is hereby reappointed to the zoning board effective immediately with a term expiring December 31st, 2028. David Niall Nelson, 28 Henrietta Boulevard, Amsterdam, New York, 12010.
So moved. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-143, resolution reappointing alternate member to the zoning board of appeals by Alderwoman Quistamars. Whereas a member of the city of Amsterdam zoning board of appeals term has expired, therefore be it resolved that the following individual is hereby reappointed to the zoning board as an alternate member effective immediately with a term expiring December 31st, 2028. Lorraine Del Costello, 21 Romaine Avenue, Amsterdam, New York, 12010.
So moved. Any discussion? Can you please call the roll?
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter. Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-144, resolution authorizing contract with Phillips Lytle LLP for the prosecution of in-rem foreclosure action pursuant to RPTL Article 11 by Alderman Marticello.
You might want to read this.
What was that?
Read it.
Whereas the city is desirous to engage special counsel for the prosecution of an in-rem foreclosure proceedings pursuant to Real Property Tax Law Article 11 for the year 2023. And whereas the city previously engaged with Phillips Lytle LLP for prosecution of the in-rem action that was commenced in 2023 for the years 2017 through 2021, with the services provided having been to the great satisfaction of the city and the common council, being desirous to engage said law firm again as special counsel for the prosecution of the next in-rem foreclosure action. And whereas, in substance, Phillips Lytle LLP will charge the city $250 per parcel for representation in this matter, with said fees being subsequently recoverable by the city with court approval upon sale of the parcel. Now be it hereby resolved that the attached agreement with Phillips Lytle LLP is hereby authorized.
So moved. Thank you. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter. Resolution number 2526-145, resolution authorizing contract with Civic Plus for FOIL management by Alderman Holliday.
Yeah, we're gonna add an amendment to this one, to one of the whereas clauses, a motion
Motion to make it
to make an amendment, yes.
So you're gonna add whereas,
Yeah.
You have a,
do you want me to read?
Did you have
I do.
the verbiage that she wanted to use?
Whereas expense to be charged to A0.1410.4000.
Correct.
vote on
You gotta vote on the amendment.
So moved, yeah, questions, comments? Okay, we call the roll on that,
On the amendment.
on the amendment, please, yes.
Alderman Holliday. Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter. Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars. Are you good for me to call the roll on the resolution?
Well, if you could read it, just because it's money involved, so.
Whereas the city is desirous to engage Civic Plus for a cloud-based software management system relating to requests for records. Whereas the initial term of the contract is for a period of 1 year at a cost of in the amount of $13,929.75, of which $10,788 is for the first year's service fee, and with the balance of $3,141.75 of the $13,929.75 being for startup fees, and with the city having the option to extend the contract for up to an additional 4 years, with an annual increase of 5% in the annual service fee for the years 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the contract, should the city wish to extend the duration of the initial term.
Thank you, Stacy, we can see you. So moved, questions, comments? Okay, we'll call the roll, thank you.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars. Resolution number 2526-146, resolution 2025-2026 budget transfer of multiple accounts by Alderman Marticello.
So moved. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars. Alderman Holliday. Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter. Resolution number 2526-147, resolution approving audit by Alderwoman Collins. Any questions? Call the roll. Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter. Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars. Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-148, consent. Resolution appointing member to the Planning Commission by Alderman Carpenter. Whereas there is an opening on the City of Amsterdam Planning Commission due to a resignation, therefore be it resolved, the following individual is hereby appointed to the Planning Commission effective immediately with a term expiring February 28th, 2031. Ashley Carey, 12 Boardman Street, Amsterdam, New York, 12010.
So moved. Any questions? Call roll, please.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars. Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Congratulations, Ashley, and thank you again.
Resolution number 2526-149, consent. Resolution correcting resolution number 2526-105 as it relates to the purchase of 18 Bayard Street by Alderman Marticello.
Please read the last whereas.
Whereas the intention of the instant resolution is to correct said error. Now therefore be it hereby resolved that the instant resolution serves to amend the correct resolution 2025-26-105 as it relates to the authorized sale price of 18 Bayard Street, said sale price being $31,100.
So moved. Thank you. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars. Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter.
It is Restaurant Week in our city. There are several great restaurants participating. Their featured meals are $18.85, all of them, in commemoration of the year Amsterdam was founded as a city. Please try and get out there and patronize these wonderful restaurants for participating in this great program. Chris, you were at the Winter Festival as well.
Winterfest went swimmingly well. Started off a little slow, but started at noon. But by 1 o'clock, we probably had 100 people there, and the kids were sledding, they were ice skating, families, and it really this year reminded me of something you'd see on TV as an old movie, where all these people are just. I mean, it would have been better if we had Pertel's popcorn, I think.
But I do want to thank Alpenhaus. I want to thank Baby Soup Kitchen for donating food. I want to thank Baby for cooking and everybody who's there. It was a great event.
AAA Northway did a great job with the skates.
That's right. Do we own those now?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
we
it was fantastic.
always have a weather challenge, and this was actually
This was actually a nice day, right?
Well,
not
last
too
year,
cold, and then also
Well,
not too hot where it melted.
You were there, Cal?
No,
last year was really, really cold. This year it was
No, it was a
manageable.
perfect day for it. All right, thank you very much, council. Meeting, the motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter. Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Mars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.